Welcome to a conversation about FDA changes in drug development, where we explore how recent budget cuts and personnel shifts are reshaping the regulatory landscape. Dr. Helene Clayton-Jeter brings a unique perspective, combining her academic roles at Northeastern University and Wagner School with 10 years at the FDA, where she directed the Cardiovascular and Endocrine Liaison Program. Budget cuts and personnel reductions have introduced significant uncertainty across healthcare, affecting regulatory timelines, investor sentiment, and capital allocation in biotech. Media reports suggest major disruption at the FDA, yet companies on earnings calls report business as usual, creating contradictory perceptions of what's really happening. FDA changes ripple outward, touching biotech funding drops, approval delays, market concerns about longer time to market, and potential impacts on innovation. In the Office of External Affairs, Dr. Clayton-Jeter served as a navigator, connecting constituents with the right people across all FDA centers and offices. Her career evolved from healthcare provider advocate to consumer advocate, then patient advocate, ultimately leading to her director position. Current FDA changes affect different parts of the agency differently. Some colleagues report business as usual, while others are retiring unexpectedly, depending on their position and career stage. Reviewers continue their work largely uninterrupted, while upper management and program directors face more disruption and departures. PDUFA legislation sets approval timelines, creating guardrails for the entire approval process and requiring the FDA to meet specific deadlines. The FDA historically beats or meets its PDUFA dates earlier than required, demonstrating strong efficiency in the approval process. PDUFA funding enabled staff increases, agency reorganization, and efficiency improvements that addressed complaints about slow approval timelines. Medical reviewers, clinical auditors, and frontline staff continue their work largely uninterrupted, maintaining business-as-usual operations despite broader changes. Office-level changes, especially in the Commissioner's office, affect program operations and staff departures, though public meetings from centers like CDER continue as scheduled. Entry-level positions remain numerous and available, while senior-level positions are essentially non-existent. As experienced professionals leave, they take institutional knowledge with them, creating a gap that entry-level hires cannot immediately fill. Administration changes bring new agency appointees whose backgrounds and experience significantly influence policy shifts and organizational direction. Agency success depends on appointee quality, whether they lean on experienced government employees and preservation of organizational knowledge. Dr. Peter Marks is like a company CEO. He built CBR from a startup-like state and possesses crucial institutional knowledge. Senior staff departures lead to institutional knowledge loss, threatening decision credibility and FDA reputation. Approval decisions require precedent knowledge, molecular history, and product experience, all essential for making credible regulatory choices. Entry-level knowledge cannot match senior-level expertise in organizational structure understanding and precedent awareness, despite equivalent intelligence. Both CDER and CBER have experienced departures of senior leadership, with experienced team members leaving these critical centers. The Device Center experiences fewer departures and less attention, while Drug and Biologic Centers face more significant leadership losses. The Commissioner's Office connects directly to center directors, who can provide credible answers and precedent information within minutes. Loss of experienced resources threatens decision quality and raises concerns that opinions might override data, compromising regulatory integrity. The approval process now flows from FDA approval to HHS review, potentially causing market delays and requiring additional meetings. Approval slowdowns are linked to HHS interference, extensive data justification needs, and timeline extensions. The real slowdown is when it hits the market, not the approval process itself. A 12-month timeline suggests impacts may become visible in second and third quarter calls during late 2025 or early 2026. HHS guidance contradicts CDC recommendations on vaccine administration, with CDC following congressional mandates while HHS leadership suggests different approaches. Congressional mandates govern agency operations. Both CDC and FDA must follow these requirements regardless of administration preferences. Regulatory changes typically take 20 years to implement. CDR collaborations with EU partnerships and generic drug programs show positive signs that innovation continues despite challenges. Inexperienced leadership threatens international credibility and regulatory partnerships, as other regulatory bodies may question decisions made by unfamiliar leaders. Perception is reality in the market, with innovation, science, and data. Agency strength depends on infrastructure preservation, retention of experienced staff, and knowledgeable government employees who can guide new leadership. Retention of seasoned staff is as important as hiring regulatory experts for maintaining FDA credibility. FDA credibility connects to PDUFA performance, approval speed, and favorable comparisons showing the agency often approves products faster than European regulators. AI implementation raises questions about device center classification and how these tools fit into existing review protocols. Technology advancement creates system adaptation needs, implementation delays, and efficiency challenges as FDA systems struggle to keep pace. AI capabilities cannot replace human review requirements, as regulatory decisions demand nuanced judgment beyond what data sources alone can provide. Combination products have drug and device components that must go through separate approval pathways at different FDA centers. AI tool approval flows from development through device classification, requiring center coordination and process creation for these novel products. The wheels turn slowly when implementing new processes at the FDA. Reference pricing involves CMS authority over pricing decisions, with joint meetings available between FDA and CMS, though FDA focuses on approval, not pricing. The FDA role is approval-focused. The agency concentrates on safety and efficacy, while pricing policy remains separate. The 2025 to 2030 timeline brings experience loss, agency transformation, and potential regulatory strength diminishment unless experienced professionals are retained. Organizational growth equals organizational health. Whether the FDA maintains vitality indicates whether changes are positive or negative. FDA roles extend beyond domestic approval to PEPFAR support, international aid, drug importation oversight, and export facilitation. Agency weakening could lead to severe consequences for getting medical products to consumers. Patient advocacy drives everything. Drug access, disease prevention, and treatment availability remain the ultimate goal for all stakeholders in drug development.